guys? So I just had a download I want to share with you guys regarding reality shifting, timeline shifting, all that, because I'm super into like the law of assumption and like basically like stepping into creating my reality and like changing the narrative, so to speak. Something I was thinking about is narcissists, right? We're told that they're unchangeable, that they'll never change. But I just realized that in a weird way, that is a higher orchestrated timeline manipulation, and that if you really know what you're doing with like timeline jumping and you know how to frame it in your mind, like you know how to write it out and kind of, you know, imagine you shifting to a higher timeline, you can actually start to like shift to a higher version of that person that's a narcissist, to where they're not as much of a narcissist, and you shift to a higher quantum version of them that does start to heal and does start to see you. So that's super powerful, especially if you are a starseed light worker and you're kind of like the black sheep of your family. Maybe you don't have the best relationship with them. You can start to heal it, but you really have to like know what you're doing with this timeline stuff, and you have to like really step into that author co-creator mode, where you know that reality is what you say, it's a mirror of you. So it's hard, especially if you used to project that they're a narcissist, because that old timeline can start to bleed through. You basically have to like re-script it. Like you have to reframe it in your mind and say, they acted this way because of this, not because they're narcissists, because of this, because of that. Or you could, just script that they were a narcissist and that they're not anymore. The point is like, we're told that they can never change. They can if you change, because it's your reality. So this is just a message of hope and limitless possibility. This applies just to like any, bad people in your life that like maybe don't support you, fake friends, all of that. It's your story, it's your song, your dance all day long. So it's just reminding ourselves that we're the author, and stepping into that without letting lower timeline bleed throughs and or higher forces at be and or external sources here on TikTok and stuff sway our own narrative, because it's only when our narrative gets swayed that we lose control. So, but you're the author. So I'm kind of going through something right now where like, my family's like the traditional type of family. They don't believe in this stuff. This is like woohoo to them. And so I'm a life path 7. So like I'm very, detective, like very like into the spiritual stuff, hence why my page is this way, philosophical, analytical stuff like that. And so I'm being drawn to like a spiritual career, but like they're like really pushing college on me, and it's really hard because like, I know that in their mind they think that they're like really supportive because they would pay for college and stuff, but I'm trying to tell them like, I don't really want to go that route. I don't know what I want to do yet. I kind of want to make what I'm doing here on TikTok and YouTube work, so I can be philosophical and help you guys by making these videos. But at the same time, I need to make money. So maybe I will become a Reiki healer or sound healer or something cool like that. But the problem is, like I said, to them it's woohoo. So I'm in the mode of actively kind of rephrasing my reality to shift to a timeline where my family's more supportive of me, because I know that there are positive timelines that exist, but I also know that there's going to be lower timelines at play that do slip in, especially because in the past I did used to think that they were secretly aware and like kind of working against me. Like if you guys have heard of the whole chosen one thing, where like a lot of star seeds are placed around strategic lower beings that siphon on our light and like try to stop us. That's true. Like, I have been on timelines like that. Like, I'm not saying it's not true, but like, it's not true anymore because I've shifted, right? I've hopped up the earth a little bit, but those lower earths are still able to bleed through sometimes and like try to pull me back down. So like, this is how complex this all gets. But yeah, I just wanted to share that with you guys as an example and like a real thing I'm going through and like what led me to making this video. So hope you found it interesting.